All right, YouTube, Repo Man 64, the camo shirt out here in the secret broadcast cave. I blend in, you can't see me. Oh, that sun's bright. All right, so tomorrow morning is my day here, Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. That would be 3 p.m. in Israel, the moment that Jesus went to the cross 8 weeks later, on the day I call Ascension Day. That's how that's how symmetrically it worked out. David the Watchman, and I want to plug his channel real quick, has done a series of 3 video clips. They're very short, doesn't have he goes into what he's done. And I am in full agreement with him on what he's saying, and that is, why are we here? I don't make any money off of this. This is a lot of time out of my day. I work a full job. I'm 60 and I'm tired. And I would be just as happy studying by myself, building these timelines by myself. I did it for a long, long time before I started a YouTube channel. I think it's been 5 or 6 years now. But I felt like the Holy Spirit said, all right, you think you found it, which I think I did, simply because there's nothing that I found that contradicts the timeline. You think you found it, so you got to tell people. And that's what I've been doing. It hasn't always been fun. It has been an uphill battle. There's been, I don't really pay attention too much to the bad comments. I lean more towards the awesome comments. I feel sorry for the bad ones because they're about to learn. They're about to learn um, that everything that we've been saying, not about the date. This isn't about the date. It never has been about the date. This has been about watching and warning that if I told you tomorrow at this time the rapture would occur, what would you do differently? Would you go off and do the things that you've been doing because you thought you had so much time? The watchman on the wall, which there's a lot of us out here now, in our own way. It doesn't matter what date some of them are like, no, I don't like dates. I don't want to set dates. And I respect them for that. But they do look at world events and say, it's coming. It's right around the corner. And me, I build timelines, and when they come out symmetrical, then I have to tell people about them. But David the Watchman came out, like I said, with a series of 3 videos. Let me share the screens so that I can show you what he's done. And please go watch his stuff. Very, very good stuff that he put up. All right, this is the first thing. He's built himself a timeline. I don't know how to do this. I have to solicit Sister Sandy to help me build this kind of stuff, but it's amazing. Now, David the Watchman was the one that noticed, of course, it's going to be blurry, but he was the one that noticed that from Apophis, which they're saying, you can go Google it, April 13th, 2029, on Friday the 13th is when it's supposed to either hit Earth or pass by Earth. He's the one that noticed that 1,260 days before that is October 31st, November 1st. Well, that's the date of the flood on the timeline. He noticed that afterwards, it lands on the Day of Atonement, which is September the 24th and 2032. Yes, the Revelation 12 sign hit on the Day of Atonement. It did not hit on trumpets. There is no calendar that we can use that jumps around the dates every single year. I don't believe in it. I've said it a million times, and still people will go back what the Jews say, the moon says, and you were born on a date, and that date never changes. That date comes around every single year, and that's the date that you look at for your birth. If you decided, well, we're going to use the sliver moon, we're going to use the sliver moon when the sun is in Aries, we're going to use the sliver moon after the equinox, after the equilux, we're going to use the full moon. All these different ways of counting are they're all insanity. It's all insanity, and none of those ways of counting, anything involved with the moon, is going to give you a solid date. Here's a solid date. October the 24th. the night of. That's actually the night the moon was under her feet. They tried to move it back a day to the 23rd, but you can go into Solarium right now and see the moon wasn't under her feet. A problem is in 2023, was it 20? No, in 20, was it 2017? In 2017, when the Revelation 12 sign happened, trumpets was actually on the 22nd. So they moved it back a day to try to call it trumpets. And they keep saying, well, it's going to happen again on trumpets. It's never going to happen on trumpets. The Revelation 12 sign happened on the Day of Atonement. That's it. When Israel was attacked on this timeline on October the 7th, that's Shemini Atzeret. It never changes. It's always Shemini Atzeret, but it changes because of the silver moon. At any rate, I love timelines, and here's David's, and he makes an incredible point, and that is, yeah, I'm looking tomorrow because that's Ascension Day. I'm also looking at the 29th, 30th because that's Pentecost. No, it doesn't jump around every year. I don't know how you would build a timeline with it jumping around, but it doesn't. It lands on the same day every single year. And so he builds this, which is awesome. And he gives a bunch of dates that things could possibly happen on these days. And that's what I'm saying as well. Just like David, I'm saying that it's not limited to a date that I found. Remember really clearly that Amos 3:7 will be fulfilled by God himself. He's going to tell us. It promises it in there. When we go back and look at every single rapture event or salvation event, Lot, the angel shows up. The angel says, we got to go. And Lot says, no, you got to come inside, relax a minute. Lot doesn't want to go, comes inside, and then they start pressing on the door. These people outside, and they had to be struck with blindness because they were trying to get to know these two angels that were trying to rescue Lot and his family. So what happened was Lot was given a few hour warning because it shows a few hours later they actually did leave. And that's how much time they had before, a few hours. All right. When we read about Noah, we say, well, he had a week's warning. Did he? He knew that date 120 years earlier. That wasn't the warning. If you read in an extra biblical book, you will see that the heavens began just going insane, lightning and thunderings and all kinds of stuff was going on just a few hours before the rain began. And then God shut the door. God was the one that shut the door of the ark. Noah had already been inside for a week. They were laughing at him. What are you doing inside there? It's nothing's good. You're literally sitting inside an ark. Nothing's going to happen. But it did. Then we can get to Elijah. We read in the Bible that every town he went to, they didn't approach Elijah. They approached Elisha, and they mocked him. They said, "What's going on, man? I thought your master was going today." He's like, "Yeah, shut up. Okay, I know." He was actually embarrassed by the fact that Elijah was saying that today might be the day I go, and then they go to another town, and the same thing repeats. I think it's 3 or 4 times it repeats. So even Elisha didn't know the exact day, but what do we see? Just moments before Elisha goes, there's the heavens open up, a chariot of fire comes down. Similarly, irregardless, you know what's messed up? I used the word irregardless in my last video. I guess in the last 6 years, I've never used that word. It's a local vernacular from where I'm from, using the word irregardless. I don't use the word ain't. I just don't. I grew up north. We don't use the word ain't. They use it down here. So what happened after misusing the word ain't so many times? They added it to the dictionary. Irregardless is in the dictionary. I know it's a double negative. I hate double negatives. I didn't just say it once either. I had to keep saying it. I was like, I've never said irregardless before in a video, and I just decided to say it like 4 or 5 times. I got people in the comment section that are just really butthurt over the fact that I said irregardless, and they're like, now, there ain't no such word as irregardless. And I'm like, what? You're using the word ain't to tell me that there's no word irregardless? It's a local vernacular from where I'm from. Regardless of that fact, that was what I swear they didn't even hear my video. All they did was comment on the word regardless or irregardless. It was insane. I will, since I am a word warrior myself, I will attempt not to use the word irregardless and use the word regardless in its place so that I don't upset the masses. At any rate, at any rate, the point is that we're here. And so he warns day after day after day, and what happens ultimately? He goes up in a chariot of fire. Now, we also have Enoch. In an extra biblical book, you can read that it was the middle of winter. Remember, Enoch's time, for all intents and purposes, was winter because the flood happened in 1656. God didn't actually fix the calendar until 1446, 210 years later. That's when he told Moses, this now is the head of your year. He did that in 1446. And then 40 years later, Joshua crossed over to the promised land. So 210 years. Does anybody recognize the 210 years? That's the 210 years that have been taken out of the Jewish calendar. And so that's why they're in the year, I forget what they're in, 5785. You put the 210 years back in, and it's 5995. And so again, we have symmetry. It shows up again in biblical, regardless in biblical extra biblical book. We read that Enoch was taken in the middle of winter, and this would be true because whatever we view now as summer here in the northern hemisphere, just look at Australia. They're actually the opposite of us here. It's exactly the opposite. Same thing happened during that period of time. So what we see in there in this extra biblical book, I don't know if it's the Book of Enoch or the Legend of the Jews. I've read so many of them. I center it around the flood era. My studies in those books. But what we see is that he's in a cave. Enoch is sitting in a cave. As a matter of fact, Enoch runs away from the people because he knows so much. He looks at these people and he thinks, you guys don't have a clue what's about to happen to you. So he hides himself away in a cave. That's pretty much what all of us watchers actually want to do. We actually don't want to be on here warning everybody, but we know what it says in Ezekiel. We have to come on here and warn. I'm a private, quiet person that doesn't like to go out much and stay to myself. I am not a public person. I probably would freeze if I were put in front of the public to speak in front of everybody. Here in the secret broadcast cave, I feel a resemblance of safety in here, so I have no problem doing this. I would choke up in front of everyone on a stage. Probably talking about this stuff, I wouldn't because I'm very confident in this stuff here. But the point is that Enoch is in this cave, and they come to him and says, Enoch, there's these horses flying around out there in the sky. And Enoch was ordered by an angel. You need to go tell them. He was ordered by the angel to go warn them of this impending. Enoch knew about the flood. Enoch knew about time. He knew about flood. He knew about all this stuff. And he goes and he starts to coach them and warn them and teach them. But then he keeps going back to his cave as a recluse. You can read about this, how he more and more and more wound up going back to his cave to be a recluse and to hide away from everyone. But they come running to him and he's like, oh, they're here for me. I've got to go over here to this place, and that's where I'll be taken. And he kept warning the others, don't follow me. You're going to die. These people, and that's the only story I've ever seen like that, were going to die if they followed Enoch. And they kept following him. And guess what? They died. They got buried under the snow and they died. So, again, he has a very short window of a warning. And that's kind of where we're at now. I've been talking with Spinebreaker quite a bit about this subject. I thought maybe we're going to get a 7-day warning, an 84-hour warning, but we don't really see an example of that long of a warning to the general public, to the person. I mean, Enoch, Noah, if we use him as an example, we had a 120-year warning. We kind of did because it said, 120, it's 123 Jubilees, and we come to where we're at now. So we kind of did get a warning. We kind of know, but we don't know the day or the hour. Nobody knows so far the exact day and hour. I think that is reserved for God himself. And I think those who I have been watching. When it happens, we're going to know exactly what's going on. So please go watch his 3 videos. David the Watchman, very good stuff. He goes into detail better than me. Here's the what this is what he's talking about. This is why we do what we do. Again, if it wasn't for my for me feeling the need to warn you that this is coming, I wouldn't even be here. Yeah, I've been warning for 6 years, and I've been building this timeline for 6 years, and I've been making changes and making fixes and recalculations and making sure it's in harmony with what I read in the Bible and all this stuff. And I bring it to you every time I find something. And so, but we have to tell you, it's up to you what you do with it after that. If you think it affects me in any kind of way when you say, all right, you think the rapture's tomorrow? We'll see you the next day. I don't know if you're joking or if you think you're funny, but to me, this is very serious business. We're dealing with your eternal soul. And I know, and it really gets to me because you are mistaken. You are very mistaken when you say, they're going to go to heaven kicking and screaming. God does not want a bride being yanked to heaven kicking and screaming. He wants a willing bride who's been looking forward to this event. The people, what you're saved from is not from tribulation. You are saved from the lake of fire. And so at that moment of the rapture, I know they're going to drop to their knees. They're going to receive the Holy Spirit fully at that point, and they are going to be saved at that point. But prior to that, there's a stark warning in Luke. And I'm going to forget where it's at. Luke 12, where it says, if you aren't watching and you start beating the servants and you just give up on it and say in your heart that I don't think he's coming, then I'm going to leave you behind with who? The wicked. He's going to leave you behind with the unbelievers. What does that mean? I didn't write that. I did not write that in the Bible. That's written in the Bible. If you are not watching and dreaming of that moment, I will leave you behind with the unbelievers. You'll take part in the tribulation with the unbelievers. Now, that's a hard pill to swallow. That's a tough one to swallow, but go read it for yourself. You might not like it. You might not like it any more than the Jews like reading Isaiah 53. They don't like reading Isaiah 53 because it calls them straight out. Go read Luke, find that part I'm talking about and read that, and pray the Holy Spirit opens your eyes. And so I hate to be that firm about it, but I have to be because I have to warn you about what is about to happen. And what if it happens a month from now? Okay, we're going to keep trying to figure it out. What if it happens? What I think it has to happen, honestly, I think it has to happen before the Revelation 12 sign anniversary, the 8th year of the anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign. I think it has to happen by then. But there's a lot of symmetry that I see, like for tomorrow, and Pentecost is on May 29th, 30th on this timeline. And I see all of these things coming up. And to me, especially with what we see going on in the world with them just about to split up Israel. I mean, seriously, you have to know. You don't even have to watch a timeline. You can just look at Chris from Global Rapture Watchers and pay attention to what he's saying. This is coming to pass. This is about to happen now. I know there's a lot of fluff channels out there. They're huge channels, and rightfully so. They're feeding you milk of the gospel. They're not getting into the deeper things. They're not warning you deeply. They're just giving you a passive kind of Christianity where everything's going to be okay. You accepted the Lord. That's it. That's all. And I'm not saying that's not accurate. That is accurate. But the watchman who, if you are a watchman and you've been called to watch and warn, and you turn this into fluff, and you tell people that everything's going to be okay, it's not going to be okay. It is not going to be okay. It is going to be, and I hate to be like this. You don't normally see me this way, but I have to tell you this because if this event takes place and you are left here, you still have an opportunity. There's still an opportunity for you, but you have to begin watching. You have to begin calculating. You have to begin trying to figure this out. Why? You could do it right now rather than making the jokes and saying, we'll see you the day after tomorrow. It's going to be cool. We'll all be here. The rapture's never going to happen. It's enough for another 10 years. I've heard all the comments, and it just breaks my heart to see the people who have an opportunity right now to do this and accept this right now and say, you like I say, you don't have to watch my timeline. That's silly. Go watch other people who are saying this is about to happen now. I get the fluff channels that just kind of teach you the generics of things and say everything's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. It is going to be a very bad day, a very great day, and a very bad day on that day. So please hang in there, keep watching, and keep studying, and open your Bibles. Just open your Bible. Don't let us tell you anything. Go to your Bibles and study for yourself. This is about to happen now. This is in Ezekiel 33. We all know it. But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, the people be not warned. If the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand. Does the watchman lose his salvation? No, he's a watchman. He's going in this rapture. He's going to lose crowns. We have to warn. We have to warn people. There's no fluff here. We have to warn you that this day is coming. It's coming on like a freight train, and most people can't see what's about to happen, and it is about to happen. This rapture is about to occur. It is just everything is pointing towards it. Habakkuk 2:2, I believe David the watchman referenced this passage in his video. The Lord answers again, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord said unto me, write the vision, make it plain upon tables. But that's in tablets. Make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. My timeline is just a timeline. I firmly believe that it's accurate. But if you firmly believe in the sliver moon, that's great too. Don't think for a second that when somebody has a sliver moon high watch, don't think for a second that, what is it, April the 8th, I think, that Aaron from Gadamin is looking at. Don't think for a second that if we make it to that date, don't think we will, but if we make it to that date, that I won't be watching, because I will. Because while I believe the timeline is accurate, it could very well be that God is going to use the Hebrew calendar. I don't know. But I'm asking you to at least watch these dates as well, because when Apophis lands perfectly, I mean, perfectly on April 13th, and you come back and you land on the date of the flood that's on my timeline, and you go forward and you land on the Revelation 12 sign, which is the Day of Atonement on my timeline. When that stuff starts happening, you got to say, wait a second, how does that happen? How does that keep happening? When Israel was invaded, October the 7th, Shemini Atzeret on the timeline. It's you got to ask, which one is God actually going to use? And then we have to ask which event. And then ultimately, Amos 3:7, God's going to fulfill it. And the Lord answered me and said, write on the vision plain, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. When it comes, it's going to come on like a freight train. You're going to think, oh, it's not this, no, it's not that. And then all of a sudden, bam, I think Damascus, I think earthquake, huge wave, the parting of the land of Israel. Something is going to happen, and it's going to turn every single one of your heads. All of you who are watching, I can go to any church right now, any church, stand up in front, which I'm not comfortable doing, but I would stand up in front and ask them, what do you think would happen when Israel's land is parted to the Palestinians? And they will say, nothing, no big deal. I don't see anything wrong with that. Israel has to give up some of that land. They're a sliver on the map. Why does Israel have to give up anything? They're a little tiny sliver on the map. They're smaller than the state of Florida. They're tiny. I think it's smaller than the state of Florida. Pretty sure it is. But it's a tiny, why do they have to give up anything? So I digress. I think that what we're doing here is what we're supposed to do. While we might look like fools because the date passes, There's nobody. There will be nobody in Luke 12 that we read. Is it Luke 12:36? I don't even remember where it's at. I think it's Luke 12:36. Somewhere in Luke. There's nobody that can say, I wasn't warned. I didn't hear that. I didn't know. No, they're going to say, yeah, he was wrong about 90 days. Yeah, but you were warned, right? You were warned over and over again that it was coming. Well, that guy couldn't figure it out because he's not supposed to. Amos 3:7 will guide you or lead you to that. And it's possible, it's very possible that we will see an entire group of people who are not watching. They're faithful and they're this, they're that. But guess what? The second they see that sign, they will know. There'll be a lot of people in the churches that'll see one of these signs take place and go, oh, wait a second. I think the Lord's coming back now because Damascus, and you know what's going to happen on the news. The news will even be advertising. This is a prophecy in the Bible. Damascus was destroyed. I wonder. I don't know. Something to look at, right? And finally, Amos 3:7. This is what I bank on, not anything I have found. I'm not asking anybody to trust me whatsoever, but this is what I stand on. It is a verse in the Bible, and it is a guarantee. And I cannot find anywhere in the Bible where God ever did anything where they're involved. Secret broadcast cave bug. Where they're involved a group of people who were going to go to heaven or were saved that were not warned. They were all warned every single time, bar none. All of them were warned. Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. It is going to be told, not by me. I'm going to get you from date to date to date to keep watching and keep you alert that one of these events is what is going to transpire to the point that the rapture will occur. And who knows, maybe one of these dates will be correct. Maybe none of them will, but you're watching, right? You're watching. And that's what the Bible says is clear, that you must be watching. All right, let me go back here. Let's see here. Where are we at? Right here. I did a little bit of fixing up on this thing here. Let's see. Let me get a little bit closer. All right. Symmetry. Symmetry is what I look for. Now, I don't build this. Please, somebody build this. 6 days you work and 7 days you rest. Build this right here. If you can build this, let's say you say, okay, Nissan 1 is not March 17th. Nissan 1 is March 20th with the equinox. Build this. Go in, print this out, and change all of the dates. When you go down, things will begin to happen that will make you question, was it real? If you go 4 more days, you could actually get Tishri 1 to land on September the 18th, which I believe, is that right? No, that wouldn't work either. Yeah, it wouldn't. I've never done it. So you'd wind up getting Tabernacles to land on October the 3rd or 4th. Jesus, Shemini Atzeret, remember Shemini Atzeret, October the 7th. You got October the 6th plus those 13 hours difference between a stellar. Enoch's calendar is not a solar calendar. Everybody says that, but it's not. It is a stellar calendar, which recognizes the solar calendar. That's why it was 365. But Enoch would have lived on this calendar right here. Every single day, there's actually only 23 hours and 56 plus minutes in it. And that's as the Earth spins in relationship to a distant star. But in order to keep solar noon, it goes those extra 4 minutes. That's what these are. This is the 4 minutes per day right here. So Hanukkah wouldn't land on December the 8th. Jesus would not have been conceived on December the 24th. He would have been conceived over here on December the 27th or 28th. And it would have changed every year because the equinox is not, and then forget about it, if you use the moon, it's all over the place. But Israel was in fact attacked here. That's when they were attacked, which is one of the reasons I think this is accurate. Every culture on the planet views October 31st, November 1st, All Saints Day is a ominous day, and yeah, it is, because that's the day God brought judgment on the planet. It's also the day Adam and Eve sinned. They also sinned on this day. Adam was removed here on Tevet 1, on the first day of the fourth month. The fourth month, of course, being prior to the change in Exodus 12. God almost wanted to have him here during Hanukkah from December the 7th to December the 14th, 8 days, and then he was removed after Hanukkah. Jesus conceived at nightfall on December the 24th, being December the 25th. It's just, it all matches up. So, that being said, build this right here. If you say, now, first day of creation was on Tishri 1, build it. Build that timeline. Start right here, because I built this time. I have built this timeline 30 times before Sister Sandy got a hold of it and then made this thing. I went over it back and forth, pulled every day out of the Bible I could find, and I built it. And the only thing that makes sense is creation began on Elul 28 on 9/11, September the 11th. That was the first day of creation. If you say creation is on Tishri 1, and Tishri 1 would have to fall on a Sunday. There is no chance Jesus will have gone to a cross on a Wednesday. All right, let me keep going here. My rant, this is my rant. My rant is this, because honestly, David the Watchman's video got me riled up, because he's right. He's so right. He is so right. We're here warning you, and some of you think this is a joke. Some of you like pointing out the fact that we've been wrong, and we've been wrong 110% of the time. The rapture has not occurred yet, but it's going to, and we have to warn you. And it's like, well, David said it right. He said, all I have to do is warn you. What you do with it after that's up to you. You're about to learn. You are about to learn. But at the same time, I feel like shaking some of you, going, why do you think that comment is funny? I mean, you think that comment is funny. Maybe somebody else is out there laughing about it because they got a like on your comment. But I want to shake you and say, this is not, you're dealing with your eternal soul, your immortal soul you're dealing with here. This is not a joke. We are at the end. The rapture is about to occur, and I'm going to scream it from the rooftops, but I can't shake you. I can't force you to believe in anything. All I can do is sit back, and spine breakers in the comment section just taking you out, but we're all here. These are all my friends. No, I don't go over to their houses. I can't get to Australia to see Brett from God's Down Under. We all meet in the comment section of each other's videos that are going on, and we talk in there. And I get Brett talks to me quite a bit. David talks to me some. I get conversations with Spinebreaker every day. I talk to Spinebreaker a lot every day. But as we go through this, and it's just, it amazes me how some of you just take this so lightheartedly, and it just scares the pants off me that you guys don't understand that the gravity of this situation that is about to occur. It is about to go down. It is about to happen. We don't have any more time. Sorry, I just keep ranting like that if you let me, but I noticed symmetry. I didn't notice this before. I noticed it after I did this. Okay? When Jesus rises, now when you go back and you're going to do it, you're going to go back and read these verses, and somebody already made a comment saying, well, he appeared to Mary, and he said, don't touch me, for I have not ascended to the Father. And then he appeared that evening on the Emmaus Road. That's twice. No, that's not what the verse says. And that's where I get a little frustrated. You got to pay attention to the verse completely. It says, this is the third time that he has met with us apostles. Not Mary. Mary's not an apostle. He met with them on the road to Emmaus. He met with them with Thomas in the upper room. Oh, here it is. Thomas in the upper room, the second time. And the third time, he met with them on the shore where they caught the 153 fish. 1, 2, that's 2 weeks, 14 days. How many times did he meet with them? 3 times. 3 times in 14 days. And God makes sure to tell you that he was seen of them for 40 days. There's a lot of bugs out here in the secret broadcast gate. And he also mentions, what you brought up in my last video, these 3 times has he been seen of us. Apostles. When do you start your count? The symmetry blew me away. 3 times. You start your count right here on the 18th. The 18th is the first day. The 17th, 18th. You count 37 more days because we don't have any more stories of him disappearing and coming back a week later. We only have these 3. And the Bible makes absolute certain to tell us that he appeared to the apostles these 3 times. And the fish, the Jesus on the shore with the fish was the last time, 14 days, 3 times. Then you go 37 days, and we land here on May 25th. That's intriguing, since if we apply the same count as the Pentecost count, where it says it's Sunday. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. And the Bible's really explicit in Leviticus 23. Okay, now pay attention here. It's Sunday. I want you to begin counting from the morrow Sabbath, from the next Sabbath. I want you to begin counting. I want you to count 7 Sabbaths, and then I want you to go to the next day. It was super clear, and I missed it. I missed it for a while until I decided to come back in here and redo this, because I did not have these dates a month ago. I just found this stuff out and recalculated it, and this is exactly what happened. I did not know the wave sheaf offering happened on this day. I thought it was on the same day as Thomas in the Upper Room until I read Leviticus 23 very carefully. The Sabbath after is when they brought the wave sheaf offering. Then the morrow after the Sabbath, that means in the future. It doesn't mean tomorrow. It means in the future. It says, from when you brought the wave sheaf offering, I want you to count 7 Sabbaths. Well, this is the Sabbath right here. This is the Saturday. You see it up at the top. The wave sheaf offering happened when Jesus rose on a Sunday. The morrow after will be the Sabbath. From that Sabbath, you will count 7 Sabbaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the morrow after. Pentecost must always land on a Sunday. This is your Pentecost. When I did this count, and I wrestled with this, and I came up and I come down here. You see Sister Sandy, I already had the word Ascension there. She does this, and I count the 37 days. I got 2 weeks here of 3 days, and then I add the 37 days. It begins, like I showed you, on April the 18th on the other thing, and you count. If you go and do the same count, which this isn't a Sabbath, but I decided, well, what happens when I apply the same count? I go to the week after. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the next day. That's Ascension Day, May 25th. When I do the 3 days that they were seen of him, and I begin counting 37 days, it lands there too. Now I have symmetry. That's absolutely incredible. So we have a start of count over here. We have a start of count over here. This is the week of unleavened bread. This is a Sabbath. Wednesday is a Sabbath. Sunday or Saturday is a Sabbath. These 2 are Sabbaths. So that's why it's very, and then I started thinking, all right, that's some symmetrical stuff right there. What if it's exactly 3 p.m.? What if it's exactly 3 p.m. and we go the 8 weeks and it's exactly 3 p.m. in Israel would be Ascension Day? What if it were the same? He was put in the grave here at 6 p.m. just before dark. Maybe Ascension time is 6 p.m. in Israel just before dark. I don't know. I don't know. But this is what are we going to do if it passes that day? Well, I guess we're going to look at Pentecost. Pentecost is on May 29th, plus 4 hours, almost 5 hours. And that's the day, Sivan 15, that Moses first went up into Sinai. So that's the Pentecost that fully comes. So I don't know. Remember, always remember, Jesus said, I got to go. He says it in 4 different passages. I got to go, because if I don't go, I can't say, we both can't be here at the same time. We both can't be here at the same time. I got to go so that I can send you the Comforter. Well, he does that here. That's the exact count. That's the day of Pentecost, May 29th at somewhere around on Sivan 14, somewhere around in here. is when, because this is at 3 a.m., so I would imagine this is at 6 a.m. This would be at sunrise. I don't know exactly. I haven't done the symmetry on that one yet, but still, we're right at all of these things showing up. And does it pass? I don't know. Maybe it does. I was just shocked that from the cross to Ascension Day, it's 57 days. From the day Jesus rises, 57 days, it's Pentecost, it's 57 days. The symmetry is unignorable. All right. This, of course, I've showed you this before, 4 months to the harvest. And he says, lift up your eyes. Look, they're ready already. So we need to find an event 4 months from now that would give us a date. And that when we look back would be possibly the rapture. Now, David, I think, is stating that by October the 31st. And God's used that date twice already. Once to kick Adam, or once the day Adam sinned and he brought judgment on him. And the other time was when he brought judgment on the whole world with the flood. It would seem to me that he would use that date again. So that's a high watch day. 4 months. I noticed that May 25th, that's tomorrow. It's already May 25th in Israel. Notice on May 25th that it falls on the Day of Atonement, September the 24th, the anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign. All right. I showed you this before, the morrow after the Sabbath. It's all right there in Leviticus. You can go study it for yourself to see if you come to the same conclusion. He says, this is where he's saying, I got to go because I am going to send you the Holy Ghost in not many days hence. Not many days hence doesn't mean even 7 days, does it? Doesn't mean 10 days. It doesn't mean 50 days. It means not many days. This is less than a week, which is why I show it to be about 3 to 4 days apart, or 84 hours. This is where I was just telling you about, to whom he showed himself alive after his passion by many infallible proofs, being seen of them 40 days. If it stopped right there, I would have never known how to count this. I would have never known how to count. If this is the only time it touched on this subject, I would have counted straight from when he rose. But that's not what this verse says. This verse in John 21. Super clear. This is now the third time that Jesus showed himself to his disciples. When did he show himself? On the road to Emmaus. Disciples. Disciples, not Mary. Disciples. Showed himself to Thomas in the upper room. Showed himself on the shore with bread and fish. Walked with him because we have no more stories about him showing himself. By virtue of the 40 days, means he showed himself 3, walked with him for 37. It lands on May 25th. This is now the third time. If I didn't have this verse, I would have never known how to count this. As a matter of fact, I had to count wrong for some time, and now I'm very confident that tomorrow is Ascension Day. This is now the third time Jesus showed himself to his disciples. After that, he was risen from the dead. Right up here, Simon Peter went up, drew the net, full of great fishes, and 153. That's the third time that he showed himself to them and began walking with them a full 40 days, 3 of them already used for the road to Emmaus, Thomas in the upper room, and now the 153 fish, 37 more days, it lands tomorrow. Tomorrow's that day. I was showing you the 57 days. When you count from the cross to Ascension Day is 57 days. Let me zoom that in a little bit so you guys, I can't see it, so you guys can't see it. March 30th to May 25th, 57 days. And then we found symmetry. We found symmetry. 84 hours later, Jesus rises on April the 3rd, and on May 29th is Pentecost, 57 days. We found symmetry. Very important. I showed you this. I could not believe that he had creation and he recognized the years. Everybody's like, oh, he's going to be loose for a little season, maybe 3 months. No, Satan's going to be loose for 22 years. At the end, God, Jesus, is going to run this planet for 1,000 years. He's not giving up 1 second of that 1,000 years. Not 1 second he's giving up. He's going to run the planet for exactly 1,000 years. And then I'm sure we're going away. Jesus is going away. He's going to give it back to Satan, and he's going to be able to tempt those who are left. I'm sure by this time, at the end of the 1,000 years, these people are going to be tired of us. We're going to be running around. We're going to be like soup. We're going to be like Supra. Can you imagine Superman thumping you in the forehead every day? What are you thinking, man? What are you doing? Why? Why would you do that? Don't you know what's at stake here? Okay, okay. Talk to your kids or my grandkid, for example. Tell them every day, stop swinging stuff in the house. Why do I got to tell him every single day? Why does he keep swinging stuff? But he just keeps swinging stuff in the house. Things get out of his hand and they hit the wall or the door. And I'm like, what did I tell you about swinging stuff? But after a while, they don't believe you. And that's what's going to happen during this 1,000 years. They're going to begin to resent us. They're going to be waiting for us to leave so they can do whatever they want. And during that 1,000 years, we're going to be here. And then we're going away. We're going up here. And Satan will have 22 years to mess with them. 22 years. All right. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. I want to save all these because he did an amazing, uh, some amazing graphics here. It just blew my mind how he came up to the same dates, 7056, the 144 government perfection of Jubilee years. Jubilee years, 49 years. I keep seeing these people say it's 50. It is not 50. It's 49. It is 49 years. You start on the first year of the sabbatical cycle of the 7 years. Of course, I'm going to forget the name of it now, but you start there and then you end on the first year. If you go 49 years and you start over again. So at any rate, amazing, absolutely amazing what he found there. I showed you that. Let's see here. This is where David the Watchman, and again, he found this. I put this up here because of him. A lot of information I get on here comes from other watchmen, and then I simply start doing math from there. But he found this. I was absolutely floored when he did. I had no idea. And the beautiful thing is it falls perfectly on this timeline. It does not fall like this on any other timeline. If you apply this, just this, and then walk away from it and use another timeline, it won't work. It just won't work. I don't think your flood in 2025 is Heshvan 17 is going to land on October 31st in 2025. I haven't looked, but I don't believe their sliver moon does that this year, nor will their sliver moon in 2032, September the 24th, when Israel, no, not when Israel, oh, the end of 1,260 days, center point being Apophis, 1,260 days later, this is the date of the Revelation 12 sign. It's the Day of Atonement. So this is what David said, and I kind of understand what he's saying. He's saying that October the 31st is Judgment Day. That's the day that all of it hits the fan, which I kind of understand. Atonement's the day that Satan or the Antichrist is going to claim his place. But he's going to be revealed, or the seals will begin getting opened once we're gone. And the tribulation will last 7 years. But when you do the math from 1,260 plus these 30, you land here, Heshvan 10. This is the day that Noah went into the ark. If you add another 45 days to make it 1335, which is up here, it lands on October the 8th, Hanukkah. Again, it will only happen on this timeline. It won't happen on any other. So CJ Lubbock just blew my mind with that. I always had it. I've had this up here for months. I don't remember. I went back and looked. I think it was 4 months or 6 months ago that I came up with this, and Sister Sandy put it in this form for me. I love how she did the yellow and then the orange. Oh, it just looks good that way. But anyway, we come to the same time down here. Well, we have to. There's no way we couldn't. You can't split a Jubilee year up by anything other than 49 years. So of course, CJ Lubbock and I were going to come to the same date. Absolutely incredible. I showed you that. That's David the Watchman. Okay, we went through all of that. I'm going to make a shorter video. I think I got my point across that we are not playing around, that this event is coming. I can't make you believe. I can't shake you and tell you better pay attention. I can't do that. It's on you now. I've warned you and warned you and warned you, and now it's on you to take this to the bank and try to open your Bible of everything I just said and try to do something with it. Warn somebody. You've been told, like I was told in Ezekiel, that you heard something, and whether you have a YouTube channel or are just so in depth in study and research. No, you don't have any of that stuff. You barely understand any of this stuff, but you know that it's coming because you're watching Chris over at Global Rapture Watchers, Lisa Boyce over at Watchwoman 65. You're watching all these huge channels, Mark Allison 88. I love his channel. I'm Awake Are You? Have you ever heard that guy? Brian over I'm Awake Are You? Awesome channel. When he starts talking about heaven, I literally go there with him. It's like I'm looking at everything, and he's such a good describer. And when he describes it, you feel like you're standing there. It's really cool when he talks about it. Such a beautiful way of talking about heaven. At any rate, irregardless, I can't believe I just say it once, I didn't say it twice. I just kept on saying it over and over. I was like, seriously, you just had to keep saying that. Like, would you get hung up on the word for the first time? I couldn't believe I did it. Anyway. All right. So Watchman on the Wall, Ezekiel, I'm warning you, this is going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. Whether you're a serious researcher or you're just hearing about this and you're a brand new Christian, go tell somebody. If you see me go, go warn somebody. There's an event coming. This crazy person is talking about a rapture. I don't know if it's true or not, even though in your heart you might know it's true. Just go tell somebody, and they might actually, and when it happens, because they're not watching, they're not looking forward to it. But when it finally happens, they'll be like, oh, I know what just happened. No, it's not aliens. I know exactly what just happened. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. Go watch David's 3 videos. They're shorts. They're like 5 minutes a piece. They're awesome. So go watch his stuff and subscribe so that this information is retained after the rapture for the tribulation saints to be able to find it. I wish David's channel with the way he talks about this, or I'm Awake Are You, the way he talks about heaven. I wish those channels would just explode to 1 million subscribers, and that way, when we do go, I mean, there's a lot of watchers out here, a lot of watchers out here that just for some reason hold on to that subscription like it's money. It ain't no money. I ain't never charged nobody a dime for anything I do. I'm not here for anything, I'm here for the free cake, and I haven't seen any free cake yet. So, get that in heaven, I guess, right? But just subscribe to those channels, please, because this is your small part to get the information out after the rapture occurs that somebody else might be saved from the lake of fire. That's what we're doing. We're saving people from the lake of fire. We are not saving people from the tribulation. You can't convince anybody that there's a rapture that doesn't want to believe that there's a rapture. You just can't. So, all right. I think I've rambled on enough. I hope I'm not that type of channel where I get really strict, but I really believe we're right at it. Like we're at it right now. Like might not have time to upload this at it right now. That type of thought process from everything that I'm seeing, I've never seen anything like what I'm seeing now. Take it from a guy who's been building timelines on and off. I haven't been building timelines straight through 40 years, but I built one, 40 years ago. Then I built one 30 years ago. And then I built another one and it didn't work. I built timelines and I'm like, these things, they don't fit. They don't work. You know, they just don't work. Don't think for a second that when I built the original timeline on a graph and I told Sister Sandy, hey, we need to put this onto a chart type thing. 6 days you work and 7 day you rest. Don't think I wasn't apprehensive that I thought, ooh, what if the cross doesn't land on a Wednesday? What if resurrection's not on a Sunday? What if creation didn't begin on a Sunday, or the creation of time didn't begin on a Wednesday? What happened? What would I do if that concept fell apart? And sure enough, when it was built, perfect, absolutely perfect. I challenge anybody to build a timeline. It's so, well, I guess I shouldn't say it's so simple. It really isn't. But before you attempt at discrediting a timeline, build your own. Build your own timeline and try to make those things line up. Creation did begin on a Sunday. Jesus did go to the cross on a Wednesday. Jesus did rise on a Sunday. All of these things, time was created on a Wednesday, and it all lines up perfectly. I'm fully aware that Pentecost. Somebody texted me. Somebody put in the comments, Pentecost isn't on a Sunday this year. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's on a Sunday every time, every year, because the days don't change. You're trying to relate a Gregorian calendar that has an extra day in it every year to a calendar that's the Enoch calendar, which is solid. It never budges. Anyway, all right. I if this is the last video, and I'm going to keep saying that because it could very well be the last video. If this is the last video, I am so looking forward to seeing all you on the other side in heaven. Just free, no more work, no more stress, no more hunger, no more hot, cold, no more anything. And we take that for granted. Granted? We take that for granted. That was a weird sound. We take that for granted here, for example, in the United States, because I got plenty to eat, not worried about it. Got a job, doing okay. Yeah, my body's killing me, but there are places where Christians are right now eating twice a week. It's not good. So tell them that when you get to heaven, you'll never be hungry again, and that would be a beautiful thing for them. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I don't know what that noise is. It is a weird noise. But anyway, it's coming from up in the sky. I don't know what it is. It comes and then it goes away. I can't determine where it's coming from out here in the secret broadcast cave. All right. So anyway, Repo Man 64. Keep watching. We're right at the edge. And if by chance, regardless, I can't believe I did that. Regardless, if we're still here, I will make another video highlighting Pentecost on May 29th, for May 29th, prior to May 29th. And then we will chat with you then. Have a wonderful day, everyone. How do I stop this thing? Oh, here. I don't know what that sound is.